I'm J.R. Church. Welcome to today's analysis of the news. We have a strange story here coming out of the internet. The man's name is Gerald Celente. He is the CEO of Trends Research Institute. He had an interview on Fox News recently. Listen to what he has to say. He predicts revolution, food riots, and tax rebellions by the year 2012. The man who predicted the 1987 stock market crash and the fall of the Soviet Union is now forecasting revolution in America, food riots, and tax rebellions all within 4 years, while cautioning that putting food on the table will be a more pressing concern than buying Christmas gifts in the year 2012. Gerald Celente is renowned for his accuracy in predicting future and world and economic events, which could send a chill down your spine, considering what he told Fox News this week. Celente said that by 2012, America will become an undeveloped, not under, but undeveloped nation, and that there will be a revolution marked by food riots, squatter rebellions, tax revolts, and job marches, and that holidays will be more about obtaining food, not gifts. He said, and I quote, "We're going to see the end of the retail Christmas. We're going to see a fundamental shift take place. Putting food on the table is going to be more important than putting gifts under the Christmas tree," said Celente, adding that the situation would be, quote, "worse than the Great Depression." He also said America is going through a transition, the likes of which no one is prepared for, noting that people's refusal to acknowledge that America was even in a recession highlights how big a problem denial is in being ready for the true scale of the crisis. Celente, who successfully predicted the 1997 Asian currency crisis, the subprime mortgage collapse, and the massive devaluation of the U.S. dollar, told UPI, United Press International News, in November last year that the following year would be known as the Panic of 2008. Guess what? He hit the nail on the head, adding that, quote, "giants would tumble to their deaths," end of quote. Well, that's exactly what happened with the giants like Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns, and others that have gone under. He also said that the dollar would eventually be devalued as much as 90%. Can you imagine? That's either devalued or inflation, one or the other. It's going to cost more to do anything. The consequence of what we have seen unfold this year would lead to a lowering in living standards. Celente predicted a year ago, which is also being borne out by the plummeting retail sales figures. The prospect of revolution was echoed by a British Ministry of Defense report last year, which predicted that within 30 years, the gap growing between the super rich and the middle class, along with an urban underclass, threatened social order, and it would mean, quote, "the world's middle classes might unite, using access to knowledge, resources, and skills to shape transitional processes in their own interests," and that, quote, "the middle class could become a revolutionary class." I wonder if that's why so many guns have been selling the last few weeks. In a separate recent interview, Celente went further on the subject of revolution in America. He said, quote, "there will be a revolution in this country." He said, "it's not going to come yet. It's going to come down the line, and we're going to see a third party." And this was the catalyst for it, the takeover of Washington, D.C. in broad daylight by Wall Street in this bloodless coup. And it will happen as conditions continue to worsen. He said the first thing to do is to organize with tax revolts. That's going to be the big one because people can't afford to pay more school tax, property tax, any kind of tax. You're going to start seeing those kind of protests start to develop. It's going to be very bleak, he said, very sad. There's going to be a lot of homeless, the likes of which we've never seen before. Tent cities are already sprouting up around the country, and we're going to see many more. We're going to start seeing huge areas of vacant real estate and squatters living in them as well. It's going to be a picture the likes of which Americans are not going to be used to. It's going to come as a shock, and with it, there's going to be a lot of crime. And the crime is going to be a lot worse than it was before because of the last crime in 1929, Depression. He said people's minds weren't wrecked on all these modern drugs, over-the-counter drugs, crystal meth, and whatever it might be. So you have a huge underclass of very desperate people with their minds chemically blown beyond anybody's comprehension. Is that what the world's looking at in the next 4 years? That's what Mr. Salenti says, and he's the CEO of Trends Research Institute. Well, I'm not saying this is a tribulation period. I'm not ready to do that yet. But over the next 4 years, 4 years from now in 2012, we'll be right in the middle of this 7-year sabbatical cycle in the Jewish calendar. We do know that the Bible tells us that in the middle of a sabbatical cycle, in the middle of what is called the tribulation period, when the world is going to be in crisis, the Scripture says that a beast will come up out of the earth having 2 horns like a lamb and speak like a dragon. And he will deceive those that dwell on the earth by means of the miracles which had power to do. And it says he will cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might be able to buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. One of these days, the currencies of this world will be dumped in favor of a cashless society. Not a plastic card, but an engraving in the hand of the forehead. Is it that soon? Is this, what Mr. Salenti says here, is this coming in the next 4 years? I cannot tell you that it is, but it would be advisable to learn, for you, to learn what makes the economy go round, what makes it run, and see if you can figure out what you can do to save your family and your assets in the coming years. I'm J.R. Church. See you again Monday afternoon with our next analysis of the news.